the live coin Q&A show, and you're all invited to the big show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah, you like that?
All right. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live coin Q&A stream of the week. I want to thank you guys for joining in. Hope everyone's doing phenomenal. We got our usual suspects on the panel this evening. Hey, even Carl came back. You know, he felt like he wasn't, too razzed badly, so he's back for more.
So yeah, hard to avoid. I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. That boy's got a thick skin, I tell you what. But anyways, we got a nice show for you guys this evening. We got some coins to talk about. And somehow, some way, we're going to get to know you guys a little bit better. So, gangway, you guys are going to participate a little bit in tonight's stream. But first and foremost, we're just going to go around the horn, everybody introduce themselves. And we're going to start her off onto my left, right here. I think I'm pointing at the right direction. Go ahead, Shay.
Hi, I'm Shay Hoffmaster, also known as Mantic Coins. And I have a website, manticcoins.com, and a YouTube channel, Mantic Coins. I searched $half. I haven't been doing that, no content in about a year, because I'm working on a big project called NumisLabs.com. And anyway, at some point that will come to fruition and be available for everybody. And that's what I'm doing. I'm also spending a lot of time collecting different varieties from different coins. Right now, I'm focused on the memorial sense. I'm, looking at over 3,600 different varieties and getting lost in that and doing deep dive things like trying to find certain examples of certain things that just aren't displayed out there. So I love 2-cent coins, and I collect those as my personal collection. Pretty much everything else I wouldn't mind selling if I come across it. They're beautiful to look at. I love to look, buy, look, and sell and get rid of the coin so I can find more coins. I love doing that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having fun. And so have a great night. Glad you're here.
All right. Who's up next? Hey, Shay, I'll let you pick the next person. Doi?
I don't know who you're looking for, but anyway, I'm Eric Bartholomew, aka Blues Coins, and welcome everybody. Active member, coin community, Facebook pages. I get on, start trouble when I can. Got a YouTube page, Blues Coins. It's kind of not been very well maintained the last 3 or 4 months, but things are going to get better here soon. And I'm just ecstatic to be here every week, be part of this group, and share the knowledge. Let's go down to Amanda.
All right, my name is Amanda. My YouTube channel name is Coin and Card Hobbyist. I've been collecting coins for about 10 years now, and the Washington Quarter Series is my favorite. And I also like to collect world coins, and I'm excited to be on the panel.
Well, Seamus, I guess you're up last.
Am I the anchor man now? Hello, everyone. I'm Seamus Omaha. My real name is Carl. Coins have been a new hobby of mine for about 2 years, and I currently do coin roll hunting as a way to pass the time. I'm an indoor cat, so this hobby is great for me all year round. I mostly search BU rolls of Lincoln Memorial cents, and when I find a variety, I keep one for myself, and I like to sell the duplicate ones that I find on my eBay store. When I find a variety that I cannot attribute myself, I ask around for help. If nobody else can attribute them, I'll submit them to the big
We lost you, Carl.
He sounded very robotic.
Mm,
You know, like the Terminator. Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened.
a little better, improving.
Are you taking us to the mothership?
I don't know. Can you hear me now that the coin shortage is over? I'm back into hunting bank rolls and quarters. Last year I found about 3 rolls worth in 2019 W quarters and made some money selling those. I'm not in it to make a lot of money. I enjoy the coins that I find. We'll have happy homes, new homes, when those that desire them get them.
You're starting to sound like a share video now.
Is it, should I continue, or
Yeah, you might want to stop.
is there something wrong with my microphone?
Yeah. If you want to go back out and then come back in, you're more than welcome to. Maybe that'll clear things up. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if poof, he gone.
I thought he was going to walk out of the room and come back and see if it works.
While he's gone, he's going to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, a little bourbon action. But yeah, that leaves me. You guys know me as Blue Ridge Silverhound on the old tube. I've been collecting coins for over 25 years, and I've enjoyed type collecting. Did pennies for a number of years. I still like searching through pennies. But yeah, U.S. coins, that's where it's at. So not really working on anything, outstanding. I'm still working on my typeset, but I seem to branch off in various directions depending on what I come across. But anyways, that's me. Welcome.
Thank you, Sean.
But thank you, sir. I felt like it was a little bit wordy, but I got it out there. Hey, but I did not sound like R2-D2.
Well, I hope it comes back.
He gone.
Carl, we love you, Carl.
He gone.
He went interstellar on us.
Apparently, being the anchor man was too much pressure for him. So
now, which one of you guys told him that he has to be the anchor man? Was it you, Eric?
ooh, that's not always a good thing.
There he is. All right.
All right, let's see if is he back?
Is that any better?
Much better.
Okay. All right. Enough about me then. Let's go.
No, I already went. So yeah, we
Yeah. If you were still talking when you left the show, that's your own fault.
Oh man. Let's say common sense measures. Do you want me to call in and talk about toning? Well, it's funny that you asked that because what we were going to do tonight is we're going to get to know you guys a little bit better. And how are we going to do that? We are simply going to ask you guys questions. I guess the most obvious thing that you would ask a new fellow coin collector is, how long have you been in the hobby? So we'll start there. How long have you been in the hobby? How long have you been in the coin game, as they say?
Let's see. I started about 4 years ago. So how about you guys? And we're asking the chat too. So, but y'all may not know how long I've been in it. I guess I started in mid to late 2016. So
Yeah, I'm going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2019
I was like about 7 to 10 years old. My grandfather was collecting, and so I hung out with him doing stamps and some coins. So I had a little bit in my younger years. 50 years, Perry. Wow.
50. Oh, wait a minute. I think we got him beat.
I thought we had a bunch of young bucks in chat tonight. We still do, right?
13 years for Adam. 50 years for Kevin.
I'm an old late bloomer.
Yep, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Compared to our 40 and 50 year tenured collectors, we do have a couple rookies on the team. Although they're not rookies, believe me. They're well versed and intelligent when it comes to numismatics. I'm 26 years this year, by the way. And yeah, Eric.
26 years.
26 years. I was still in high school.
Yeah, I could not remember when I was 26 years old. That was a while ago.
That was what, 26 years ago, right?
Almost.
It still blows my mind that it's been almost 25 years since I graduated high school. I'm like, oh my God, that's over half my life ago.
Nico Native says 6 years and had to sell my collection twice. Oh no.
Wait a minute.
Oh man.
That was the wrong button. How do I get rid of that?
Is that like a born again coin collector?
Hit another one. Just hit another one.
There
you go.
Cheers, Shannon Smith. Yay!
Apparently, I found a button on this that I could post chat comments.
So Coin Dragon's 25 years. Maybe 26. Nice.
Yeah, Kevin, it's close. I'm a little bit over that.
There we go. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this button tonight.
Stop touching that, boyo. Rico, we don't like hearing stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and there's some more collections that have met their demise in chat right now. Oh no! Oh no! What are mallow cups? I used to spend silver quarters for mallow cups. What is that? Nobody on the panel knows.
Kevin's
They're
like,
similar to
it's
Reese
something for the
cups.
50s. You'll never understand.
Mallow cups are like Reese cups, but they have marshmallow in them.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Ew. You got marshmallow in my peanut butter. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of seasoned collectors. That's great.
And it looks like a lot of collectors that have at one point sold off their collection and either have, well, they're here for a reason. So I'm sure a lot of them have gone back to collecting coins. And some would say, well, it's a horrible feeling to sell your collection, but at the same time, it could also be a little bit of a refresher, kind of a rebirth. You sell off everything, start off fresh. Maybe you were at one point focusing too much on quantity, and now you want to get into doing quality. And you're doing that, and maybe you're like, I gotta sell all this again because I want to go back to quantity.
I'm a born again coin collector too. I sold my collection in 2009, but I was a solo collector. I wasn't into the online anything, or it was just me doing it. And but this time around, I got involved from watching YouTube videos and as they came up and learned more about it and got back into collecting again. So it is like being reborn, but now I'm more into it and more into the educational part of it and varieties and errors, which I was ignorant upon, back in 2009. When I sold that collection, the only thing I kept was a really nice purplish toned Franklin $50. That's all I had left over from that. I had to keep, that was a keeper.
So some of these chat is cracking me up. And so someone had mentioned, who was that? That was yeah. Well, Paul said, well, that's what happens when you're born in the 50s. I'm like, wait a minute. You could literally go out, and when you were handed change, it was almost all silver. So I was just, I don't know. I didn't think about that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy. You just hoard all the silver that you get back in change, but back then you could buy a loaf of bread for 10 cents. So
it's funny because you say that, and it's like if we get a silver coin and change now, we get all excited. But can you imagine the first guy that got a clad coin after dealing with silver the whole time and went, "Oh, it's a clad coin."
Throw it back. I don't want that.
It's pretty sad. You're a coin nerd when you want to take a time machine back in time just to look at pocket change.
Oh, that's what Cindy said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is that? A hot tub time machine, right?
Yeah.
It was probably hard for that time period when the transition to say, okay, this quarter is worth the same as this one. This one's silver and that one's not. But you're telling me they're the same face value. That probably got hard to accept back then.
Well, it was my understanding that the hoarding of silver, when people knew that they were changing the composition, started well in advance of 1964. I think it was like maybe 62 or 63. People were already pulling silver out of change in anticipation of this new crappy composition that we all know and love today. At least that's why I've been told by a few of the more, I guess, seasoned veterans that have been around during that transition.
Was it Breen that said bank bags full of Kennedy 90% silver just got shipped off to like Europe? Different collectors bought bags of them and stuff. So a lot of hoarding was going on.
Oh, you said Canadian, right?
Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy. Yeah, 64s.
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't mind finding some of those bank bags to search through.
Hey, I just figured out where all the 68, 69, and 70 Philadelphias went. They're all being hoarded by a collector overseas.
$50, right, Eric?
$50.
Yeah, they went to Dubai to pay for all the skyscrapers and Ferraris.
That transition area from 64 to 65, going from silver to clad, probably wasn't as dramatic as in 1967. I was told that Sweden went from driving on the left side of the road, like England, they went to driving on the right side of the road, like the rest of Europe. Can you imagine all the accidents that occurred in Sweden and all the insurance premiums going up from people switching from driving on the left side to the right side of the road? Food for thought.
What a great opportunity to have a CCTV camera set up on street corners.
Yeah, you would have a YouTube channel just on that alone. And then it got quiet.
Let's see some coins.
I've been told I talk a lot, so.
I just got through a box and found 78 very nice shiny pennies from 1920s to 58. That was Perry.
Nice.
Now, was that recently or was that back in the day? I would love to come across a hoard of mid-state 1920s Lincolns of all mints. You know how tough that is? That one decade of...
Which decade?
20s.
The
Lincoln.
20s are tough.
20s Lincolns, yeah.
Let's see. Junior Thrash says, I have to sell my collection because I have 2 kids. One knows about coins, the other don't. I don't think one kid would be fair with the other. Well, that's all right. You can sell the one kid and just buy more coins.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Common Sense Measures has a perfect hiding spot for your coin collection. Buy a porta potty.
Like the kind they have at construction sites.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you guys hear about the porta potty? I think it was like Alaska. A lady had went in to use it, and there was a baby cub, a bear, inside of the john, and it took a big old bite out of her butt. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Which just goes to show you that when you go into those things, you need to look down in there just to make sure there's no critters.
Was it her bare butt?
Yeah, I get it. Bear, but all
All right.
hey, Brian brought up Tamaska, everybody's favorite TV huckster.
Oh. That would be nice.
64D, that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
RPMs for days, awesome double dies.
And there's less of them, so you actually might be able to get all of them.
Well, you know what, Shay? I was actually shopping for BU rolls of 64D Kennedys. I think it was on eBay. And I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, how come the Denver minted ones are priced like $40, $50 higher for, a $10 roll over the Philadelphias? And I thought about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's more varieties.
Yeah.
Were you talking about 64D pennies?
No, Kennedy.
Switch on me, or you talk about Kennedy's? Okay.
Well, there's a number of accident hair varieties for the Phillies.
This is 64D Lincoln Cents. There's a lot of double die reverses, and I love finding them, but then I dread finding them, because when you find one, you have to try to just figure out which one is it. And they're also very similar, and it's hours of trying to determine what this 64D Lincoln Cents DDR is. And sometimes you think you find a new one, but no, you just got to go back through the listings again and try to identify it again.
Nico says, I get rolls from my bank jobs. What kind of jobs? Sounds like something not so legal.
It sounds like Nico used to wear a mask even before the COVID thing.
That's fine. I'm trying to figure out what kind of job I'm going to get when I retire. I'm like, do I want to work in a bank as a teller just so I can go through coins? I'm not even sure if they let you do that.
Yeah, you have to find out first, because a lot of them say they can't.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they make special arrangements. I'm the only one of my friends that goes around saying, "Oh yeah, I have to stop by and hit up my bank tonight, or I have to hit up 3 banks this week to get coins."
Has anybody gone hunting at the coin laundries and the car washes?
Yeah.
You ever get that desperate? It's like going through ashtrays looking for butts to smoke.
The 2 places, the car wash and the laundromat, they get fresh boxes like every couple of weeks or something and dump it in there. So I found
they wouldn't have to. The coin oral hunters didn't have to go in there and steal all their quarters. They're supposed to be able to recycle their quarters from in the laundry machine and back into the change machine, aren't they?
Well, they'd have to count them, so it's easier to load the rolls in the.
Well, you just count the cash that's in the change machine, wouldn't you?
And the vending machines and all that too.
Yeah, I used to do that with the vending machines that gave back the the Sacagawea gold dollar coins back, I would cycle through the same dollar bill because you could put a dollar bill, like a paper dollar, in, and then you would hit return, and it would spit out a dollar coin. So you could continuously loop it and try and find, like, say, that Spirit Eagle or that, that lettering presidential dollar.
So you put in a dollar bill and you hit cancel, and it gives you the dollar.
Gives you the dollar coin.
That's desperate.
I've done that before, and I actually came away with an MEL. I think it was like a George Washington or something like that.
It sounds like the poor man's one-armed bandit in Vegas.
Well, I did use those vending machines at the post office to buy stamps, but I would go. They wouldn't give you any change but the dollars, so I would go in there with a couple of 20s and load it up, and then get all that back. Susan B's and yeah.
Oh, Papa Giorgio, I didn't find any. I'm here on the West Coast, so everything that was coming out was Denver. It just so happened that one Philadelphia George Washington came out, and that was right after it was released, like end of 2007. So I got lucky there. Those things grew on trees. So even to this day, the George Washington MEL is the most common one out there. Good times, man. Oh yeah, did a lot of that. It was sad.
I actually bought the tip jar at Starbucks, so I would go in there and ask the barista, "Hey, do you guys mind if I buy your change and I'll tip you extra in dollar bills?" Sure.
Well, duh. Yeah.
Some of them might get suspicious about that.
The only thing more crazier than that is if you walked in and just did that and not get coffee or anything.
That's okay. Yeah.
Do
Okay.
anyone get suspicious? Do anyone get suspicious, Shay? Like, no way, we're not doing that.
Here is one for everybody. When you go up to a convenience store, they got that little need a penny, give a penny bucket. Who looks through that for wheat pennies?
Right here. This one does.
I confess.
The people look at you and are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm a coin collector. I'm looking for old ones."
Shannon Smith says I've done that too at Subway, and it's cheaper not to buy coffee, says Papa Giorgio. Nice.
Congrats, James. Well done.
I went to a convenience store one time, and I was doing the sifting through the pennies, and the clerk looks at me and says, "Those aren't the ones you want to look through." And he goes, "Here." And he hands me all the ones that he's found. And he's had like little silver dimes and a steel penny and some other stuff in his hand. It's like, "Oh, yeah, you go through it." He's like, "Yeah." Cool.
You can go through it. You can't take it, but you can go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to teach a convenience store guy, how to look for star notes and fancy serial numbers. And I said, "Well, I'll just come by and pick them up when you find them." And since that day, he's never turned out. He says he's never found one.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
He found that website, Star Note Lookup. And
Sean, what was the effort by the coin community to spread the awareness of collecting back in 2019? There was some sort of campaign of putting rare coins into circulation. What was that called?
That was, that's coming up too, I think.
Great American Coin Hunt.
Yeah, that was it. I would put wheat pennies and steel pennies and the Susan B. Anthony's in those coin take a penny and leave a penny ones.
Yeah, I would shovel a bunch of like dateless buffaloes after I've gone through them all. I'd throw them out there, give them a change, and hey, where'd Shay go? I guess he wasn't digging on the the topic.
I think he hit the wrong button.
I think so too.
That's contagious. There's a lot of that wrong button thing going around.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
He said it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Here's a link for the Great American Map, Coin Hunt Map.
The
Are they going to have another?
The Great American Coin Hunt is sponsored by the ANA. Is that correct?
That's what it was.
I don't remember if it was them directly. Let me see.
Is there another one coming up? Are they sponsoring another?
It's usually during the spring, from what I remember.
Oh, I thought it was like the first time they'd ever thought of it was at 2019.
Yeah, they did it last year too. Or did they?
No, 2019.
No.
Maybe
That link I sent is a map where all the people could report in where they dumped their nice coins.
Coin Dragon was leaving Steelies at the Coin Star and proceeded to just confuse the crap out of people.
Stick them to the magnet on there.
Well, I like how, if you wanted to, you could pay with a steel cent and people will look at it and are like, oh, this is a dime. Awesome. or if you paid with a Susan B. Anthony, they're like, oh, okay, here's a quarter. But, like who was it? Was it Kevin or Common Sense? One of the guys that said, well, yeah, you go and pay like a cup of coffee with a gold dollar, and people are saying, hey, is this real money? I've done that with an Ike dollar before. People thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a fun, awkward conversation.
Yeah, you still hear reports of cashiers. They don't, on the news, you hear it every once in a while with the $2 bill.
Oh yeah. Where they would actually call the police.
Yeah.
And say, oh yeah, this guy was passing counterfeit bills.
Yeah. I'm just glad the register tells them how much change to give back after a comment like that.
Yeah.
That's it. It's amazing.
Well, you want to look at some coins?
Sure do.
Let's
We had
do
some
it.
questions come in this week. Amanda, you want to load one up?
You're welcome, James. Let us know what the attribution number is, and then we'll check her out.
Common sense. Coin hunting pervert.
That's like a double negative right there.
Mhm.
Not only are you a coin nerd, but you're a pervert.
All right, from Betty Cook. Error or cud? Is that an extra limb by the roof? If it is an error, what should I do next? Yeah, look at that thing jutting out over the roof there. It's like a
Is it a die chip?
yeah, it looks like a die chip, internal die break. Yeah, so these quarters are plagued with them. They are in different places. I got one right on his face. There's ones in the tree branches, and you can look at pretty much any roll of quarters and probably find die chips on them in one place or another. Now, some of them are more well-known than others. The collectability comes into play if you're into, let's say, quarters and you want to collect some die progressions and watch those chips get bigger, or die cracks grow, or see the life of the coin and see how it progressed over time. That's kind of a cool study. Numismatists do that with RPMs and doubled dies, and they look at there's shattered dies, all sorts of different errors that you can get, that you can look at the die progression. some of those die progressions kind of help you identify like the RPM or variety when the coin has been worn or no longer visible. So there's some clues, right, that you have that die because of those markers. So those are kind of neat things to get into once you've been in the hobby a little bit and realize how the minting process works, right? And how long the mint may use a particular die or set of dies.
Amanda, can you point out the die chip that we're talking about? Which area of interest we have here? Okay, thank you.
You know, it's funny that could, if you don't know what you're looking at, that could realistically look like a part of the tree.
Yeah, it could. Well, you know, when a new series comes out, I always try to find one that's no problem, right? And keep it to the side as a reference. And that way, as I'm searching, I can compare it until I really know the design well and I can spot stuff like that. Because eventually you learn the pattern that you're looking for. And you can see stuff like that jumps out at you. But if you're new to a series or new to a coin, sometimes that stuff eludes you. So good catch.
Yeah, I would have missed that too. Looks like a murder hornet's nest.
Not exactly the visual I was thinking about, but yeah, I suppose it could be.
Thanks, delicious. That's all I can see now. Okay.
If you turn it upside down, it looks like a rabbit playing a violin.
I had to send a couple of emails this week about pareidolia. So we always want to see, our mind plays tricks on us and makes us see what we want to see in the puffy clouds and on the coins. This week we had a bear, and on a Lincoln cent, and we had a lady, I think it was an old lady on a Mercury dime. So that's one of the more challenging things that I am challenged with is, because I look at a lot of emails that come in for the coin and Q&A and Facebook pages, and a lot of times the folks out there that are sending these emails, they're new to the hobby, and not only they don't want to just hear, oh, that's damage. They want to hear how that damage occurred, and so sometimes it takes some creativity to explain how it's damage and it could possibly be this, that, or, there is a million ways, maybe more, to screw up a coin. And people have figured out how to do all 1 million of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's when great storytelling attributes come into play when you're trying to explain this stuff.
Yeah. Nice, James. Found that Woody, 1934 Lincoln cent Woody with a small lamination. Yeah, those things go together. That's great. Good find.
Oh, you see Coin Dragon's face? A round circle with 3 dots. That is Frank's passion right there.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that emoji alone.
It's a big one.
Yeah, they're still talking about raiding the dorms for pennies.
Yeah, so, you can pretty much find a die chip or a die break or a crack on just about every single quarter there is. Hunt for them.
Yeah, the National Park Series is rife with them.
On Washington quarters, look on the wing tip and down between the claws and the letters, and on across Washington's head and across the base of the bust. On Lincoln's Sense, look at the corners of the memorial, and Cohen has hundreds and hundreds of pages of different little die chips and breaks and connectors and things. I mean, probably 1,000 pages in that book of that stuff. In the Lincoln Sense series, half dollars, of course. Some series like the half dollars, there's not as many varieties known in the later years, but you can find some cool stuff like a progressing die crack from the base of the bust to the edge of the coin, clashes under the ears, stuff like that is really easy to find, fun to search for. If you get served a bunch of late date Kennedy half dollars and that's what you have to search, then make fun out of it, right? If you get lemons, make lemonade. That's the kind of stuff that makes what you're doing a little bit more fun than tedious. So, and I say, hey, the more success you have in finding something, the more success you'll have in general and overall anyway. So it's nice to feel successful coin roll hunting.
It validates the amount of time you put into it.
Yeah.
Because you could easily spend a whole day going through coins if you wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Amanda, you got the next one?
I'm just going to say, did everyone just hit the mute button?
Yeah, on cue, right?
Yeah, right. It got quiet again.
And this one is actually 2 parts because it was long.
All right, we got one from Bruce Martin in reference to a 1992 Philadelphia Kennedy half bald on side of head. Okay, half dollar, bald on side of the. All right. Hi, I hope you can help me with this coin. Kennedy has a large bald spot in the hair above his ears and the white part of the hair at the usual locations. My online research has found nothing else out there like it. Thus far, I posted requests to Konica and the Coin Talk forums, but it hasn't got a satisfactory answer as to what it is and especially what it might be worth. The consensus seems to be over polished dye or a struck through grease, but I'm not convinced of either explanation. An over polished die should have produced multiple coins. A struck through grease would affect more than just 2 areas of the Kennedy's head. I was wondering if it's a light strike, a die adjustment strike, or a thin planchet could be the cause. Thank you in advance for your time and feedback.
I enjoyed this, seeing this. In fact, I went out and got a box of half dollars just to look for them to see if I could find some this week. So notice the part in the hair from the forehead all the way back to the R, and then the bald spot above the ear from the eye to the middle of the head there. Yeah. So now what you can do is you can go to PCGS and take a look at 1992, 93, 94, and you'll see that the part is already that's about the same height as the field in the coin. All right. So what happens is that as they take those dies, they polish them in order to, you know, get the surface nice and smooth. They want to polish out a chip or a die crack or whatever, a clash or however. They polish it down. And as they polish that down, the relief, the low relief stuff just turns into flat surface, right? And so you see these parts get bigger and bigger, wider and wider over time. So it's basically just abrasion of the die surface.
Yeah, I never noticed the inside the ear too till Coin Dragon and others have mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, and a lot of times you'll see the bridge of his nose all the way to his eye just be flat as the rest of the coin. Pretty neat. And you can find these in various stages, from the part, you know, being fairly thin and normal, well struck, high relief, to you know, really a lot wider.
It reminds me of like high tide and low tide, and it leaves behind wading pools. But that's just me.
Yeah, I could see it too, Carl. Yeah, you have a very active imagination. And I mean that in a good way, of course.
Any premium to these, Sean or Shay?
I haven't found evidence of the premium, you know. I think in this extreme condition, I think it's collectible from a niche standpoint. I think
it'd be like put it up for auction and see who wants it the worst.
Yeah.
But
I don't think. I mean, you know, to me, you know, some of that stuff where they're abrading the die is not something that I want to spend a lot of time collecting, because you basically have millions of coins that are worth face value. I mean, how do you spend your time collecting? Is it worth more to hold on to everything like that, or put it back in there so you can search more coin? But that's a trade-off. So, you know, if you want to keep this one, it costs you 50 cents. That's no big deal. But if, let's say, you were collecting NIFCs that you found, that can be a big deal. The next thing you know, in 6 months' time, you have $1,000 worth of NIFCs that you collected and no one wants to buy them, right? Or, you know, I don't know. It's up to you, and whether you found a market and know people that like them and want to buy them, then go for it.
Yeah, it's like Scott Halliday noticed those parallel lines in front of this coin in front of the ear. What do you make of that?
Kind of looks like damage, kind of like under his neck and on his face.
You see the two parallel lines west of the earlobe there?
Yeah, I see that. Very cool.
Well, I thought we were looking at two different coins. I thought we were looking at the submitter's coin and then one that you found. But there's only one coin here involved? Yeah,
the lighting is just a little different.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the way that this one was imaged, you could see the abrasion a lot clearer right here.
Yeah, this one kind of accents that hair part. Yeah. I like it. I like what you called it too, bald spots.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, being a president is very hard on people's hair, so they go gray in 4 years very fast.
It looks like the barber screwed up the high and tight on the Marine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's unique.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so how unique? Well, a typical die for the clad series goes from 200 to 500,000 coins. So, and this didn't happen on day one, on coin one. It happened somewhere in the life of that die. So, as far as how many are out there, I did find other stuff that's similar, but not this extreme, in 93 and 94 and 95 also. So I don't know, I think it's fairly common. This extreme, I don't think it's that common. It's kind of like finding, I guess, something like a shattered skull or something on a Lincoln cent. I don't know.
It's nice to be able to describe this in other means that it's not struck through grease or something. It's something entirely different.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think people are interested in knowing like the value of something like this, but it's so hard to quantify exactly how much something like this can sell for. It's probably a relatively uncommon type error, but a lot of people probably don't know a whole lot about it. So that there's a trade-off in there.
So that's not a clash with the reverse by the L, between the L and the chin. That's not eagle wings.
No,
that's what the scratches.
Okay.
I think if you get a couple of collectors fighting over a coin like this, it will bring a premium above face value. But I just think that's a neat keepsake for your own collection, just because of the placement of the markings or the lack of markings.
Cool.
Who's next?
And this next one is a long one too.
I read the last one.
I'll read this one. This is from Mason Buckman. We got a dime with a major die break. My name is Mason, and I am an avid coin roll hunter. Are you trying to avoid the rolls? Who lives out in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm a huge fan of your channel and all the great info that you share. A few months back, I came across one of your videos about Roosevelt dimes with major die shatters and breaks. Well, funny enough, I found a great example of one with an insane die break literally a week or two prior while searching a box of dimes. The error was so extreme, I decided to take it to a local coin shop rep who urged me to get it graded, which I did. I wanted to share some photos with you and also wanted to ask if you are still looking for an example of one of these. I think it is awesome, but would love to have it go to someone who collects errors and oddities. If you're interested, let me know, and I'd be happy to arrange a sale with you. Thanks, and keep up the cool videos.
Split dice direct.
Just a lot of them.
All right, so there's the, I guess that's the information on the coin. It's a 2007P. Found in a roll of dimes from Chase Bank in Salt Lake City. There's the attribution number from Cuds on Coins. And it was graded AU55, split die strike, major die break by Annex.
Whoa.
That's a nasty birthmark.
I'd say so.
That's awesome.
Yep. Loving it.
Explain to the folks why this is not die or coin damage, that it's a die break.
Well, that particular anomaly is raised on the coin. So if the die had broken or shattered, obviously you'll have those areas that are going to show up as raised on the whatever coin it strikes.
Metal flows into that area.
Yeah. Ta-da!
I think we matched it up to B as opposed to A. Let me grab that link. Oops.
Did it go through on the reverse?
I think it's normal on the reverse.
Yeah, 2007P 4B is a little bit more advanced in the back of the head area there.
I like coincidences like that he found this just a week or two before your video that he saw. You point at the computer screen and say, "Honey, look, I've got one of those."
It just so happens it's the one. Well, unless you're George Winters. Well, get a load of that. Conecuh, Utah State Representative. Interesting. Isn't the submitter from Salt Lake City?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's where he found it.
Yeah. Well, slap me and call me Sally.
So if you're in Salt Lake,
Hi, Sally.
Well, it's weird to have Philadelphia dimes in Salt Lake City, for one.
Yeah, Philadelphia. You don't normally see Phillies out this way.
You suppose the whole roll might have gotten opened up at a convenience store back then and got spread out from there?
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I've got, I've found 3 of the same 2020 shield scent in my area, all in change.
that's the wonderful thing about buying a bag or a roll is that you can find a whole bunch of examples of that, a couple of dies output. I in my 1960D bag of RPMs, there's a particular RPM that I've been able to pull 2 rolls out of so far. So I imagine somebody just opening up a couple of rolls that had this going on and got into circulation. Some people kept them. Some were lost in the seat cushion of the couch, cup holders, and who knows.
I'm still staring up at the coin, so.
Oh, cool.
Eric,
Yes.
you should go on Cuts on Coins. There's a few gnarly ones.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I think there's like a 05 or 06 that's just nasty.
Yeah, I trolled that site and had to get off of it because I was soaking up towels.
So I think the terminal die state is as fun to collect as a high grade, well struck coin. I don't know about you guys.
I think a coin with that type of a die break on it is, well, yeah, getting something that's going to be in high grade is just phenomenal, but I think just coming across something like that in any grade is a worthy coin for a collection.
Like if there's a bell curve for the life of a die, then the left-hand side tip of that bell curve are, the nicest well-struck coins that come off the first few strikes. And on the other end of that are these, right? At the terminal state before they had to stop the machine and put a new die in. I think that those smaller parts of that bell curve can be fairly valuable, or at least very collectible, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up a piece from Finland from the 40s. I mean, I don't necessarily go out and look at world coins all that much. Every now and then I go in there and look, and I saw this one, and it was a shattered die. It's got about 4 different places where it's intersecting, and I got it because it was cheap for one, and number 2, it just looked cool.
Yeah, Jeff, that's some of my favorite cherry picks.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like an awesome, very valuable cherry pick. It could be something that's visually stunning, something like that.
Yeah, I'll show. I'll put that in when it comes in. I think it's that interesting.
Huh?
Is that my turn yet?
Yeah, go for it.
From just another average stacker regarding a 69 Denver Lincoln Memorial cent no FG FS 901. I have another one for you all to take a look at. This is a 1969D Lincoln cent that I think would qualify as an FS 901. The last picture attached is a photo from PCGS of a graded example. Let me know what you think, please.
Cricket. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, I had the privilege of seeing this one before.
All right, who just barked?
I had Mexican food for dinner, so
Oh, okay.
my little chihuahua.
I
You know,
took
this
my
is-
shot collar off, so I'm sorry about that.
I would say it's one of mine, but this is probably the only time today I haven't had one of my dogs in here watching me work.
Just based off the pictures for what I'm seeing, I think that's a strong possibility.
A lot of times I'll see something like this and I won't see the FG under the microscope, but when I look at it under a nice light and a loop, then I can see traces of it.
It's one of those where you really have to get the lighting right and make sure you can not see it in all angles. I actually got one of these in Change one time, posted it to one of the Facebook pages, and Christopher Rhodes pointed out that it had a clash on the front. I didn't even see that on the front. I got excited about this, and then he pointed out that there was a clash on the front. I didn't even see it until my iPhone camera picked it up at just the right light.
It must have been a nicer example, though.
You see, right there, I can see an F and a G.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
I
the
agree.
dark.
It's got to completely be gone.
And I've posted this early on in my collecting on a Facebook place and that about the floating roof, and was scrutinized that, yeah, there's just a little piece of that roof support still showing, and it didn't qualify.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the TPGs are still, recognizing this, are they? I think it was even removed from cherry pickers.
It's
it was delisted as a cherry picker's guide variety.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it was the D that was listed, so I couldn't verify.
It was the D, and I'll be absolutely honest. It probably wouldn't break my heart if it was delisted, only because of how common these are. And I mean, if we're talking fill dyes or dye abrasion, what's it doing in a cherry picker's guide? I mean,
it's certainly fallen out of favor, and I think a lot of it has been the prevalence of people picking up their roll hunting game the last 10 years or so and finding a lot of them.
Well, not only are they finding a lot of them, Jeff, they're also finding other dates, like a 70 D that also doesn't have FG.
Sure.
And I think because of all of the kind of crossover with other dates, it kind of downplays the special factor of this.
Yeah.
Variety type.
I'm actually looking at the cherry picker's guide right now. The comment, there's always the descriptor and then the comment. The comment is the variety has received very little publicity. Certainly other dates in the series exist with a similar aberration.
I've got the 6th edition of the cherry pickers right here, and it's not in there. So I've got the newest addition to it, and the 69D is not in there now.
Yeah.
I know they have to take out coins out of the cherry picker's guide to make room for new coins that are going to be added. So I guess however they figure out what's a popular cherry pickers and maybe a non-popular cherry pickers is how they determine what's being taken out of the book to make room for new coins that are more popular. So that could be a reason why it's not in the cherry pickers no more. They just had to get rid of non-popular coins to make room for more popular stuff that's hitting the market.
Right. The word that I always hear about that's associated with cherry pickers is that a coin, must be a variety of some sort, and it must have what they call a wow factor to it. Something that kind of pushes it over the top above, another similar variety.
Now this is also in the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. So there's a new edition of that coming out here in May. So I wonder if it's going to be in that new edition of the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did they finally get a date on that, Carl?
I have pre-ordered through the publisher 3 copies, and it's to be released in May. So I'm going to be checking around that time. Yeah, I printed out my receipt from the order, so we'll see.
That's Kraus Publishing, right, Carl?
I'll double check and get back to you on that.
Yeah. Back to the coin in question. We kind of got off topic a little bit there. That's all I had.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. I know the grading companies, when they're looking at these coins, they're looking at them basically with like a 7 or a 10 times loop. So if you have a 7 or 10 times loop and you're looking at, and if you got to rotate the coin from angle to angle, hit different lights and stuff. And if you see no trace of an FG, even with the loop at different angles and different lighting, then you got yourself a no FG. But if there's just a slight little mark, that will not make it qualified for the no FG 901 variety.
Yeah, I think people have put this variety type too high up on the pedestal, and a lot of newer collectors have kind of embraced this as being something more special than it actually is. Jim had made a pretty good point in chat, is that the floating roof aspect of these diabrated coins is a lot more interesting than the missing initials.
Mm-hmm. I could actually see a demand for coins like this that are in high grade.
Well, point me to that demand, because I got a couple of rolls of the floating roof, no FGs, in BU condition.
Well,
yeah, I probably have about a half a roll or more too. So I mean, if someone wants $1,000 for the roll, I'd be more than happy to indulge.
Yep.
That's all the ones that I threw back, Shay.
Well, I'm thinking like high grade, like MS67 and above.
Oh yeah, but mine are all mint state 69s, so we're in good shape there.
Oh, that's perfect. I'll send you a stimulus check.
Sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah, send that friends and family.
Yeah, send it friends and family.
You don't seem like the greedy type, Sean.
Send it friends and family, and don't complain if you don't get your product.
Yeah,
that's what you get for paying with friends and family.
MS plus.
Oh, speaking of which, let's go ahead and see the roof on this coin if we can, Amanda.
it was there. I looked at it when it first came up.
Like you could see light remnants of a line on both sides.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit on the right there.
A little bit on the right. The left side looks pretty good. The right side, you can see a little faint line.
There it is.
And believe it or not, I mean, you can look at the 2009, the bicentennial ones, and find like his hair separated, his head separated on the front, on all sorts of different things. And they have these interesting names, and they're kind of neat to find, but you know.
The toupee Lincoln,
Yeah.
as I've affectionately heard it called.
I found one with no statue in the center of the memorial and put it on for auction on eBay as the stolen statue. And there were a lot of bids on that. You just got to name it right. Who stole Lincoln?
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy diabrasion pseudo varieties out there. My favorite is the 2005 Buffalo Reverse Jefferson Nickel with the detached leg. That's fun.
I have a roll of those too.
Only $1,000. Papa needs a new pair of shoes.
I have a fifth wheel on that too. Fifth leg.
Yeah.
And it's in the hindquarters, not in between the legs. So not. Never mind.
Not
Oh,
that.
that's the male buffalo. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, terrible.
Ken used to get a kick out of that thing. He goes, "Yep, that's a boy."
All right, what we got next?
All right, from Mr. Adam Chambers, in reference to an 1889 FS301 sold.
Great collections.
Great collections. Thank you. Good evening, panel. I shared this coin with you several months ago. It's kind of a cherry picker success story complete. I cherry picked this coin off of eBay for $330 with a CAC sticker and no variety listed on the label. Once I received the coin, I sent it back in for attribution, NGC to $15 service, and I sent it over to
Ian.
Ian, Oh, there's no E on the end of that. Afterwards, and I got the CAC put back on the new slab. I sold it last night at auction for way more than previous examples and more than I expected. Take a look. See if I remember what this coin was.
Hubba hubba.
Oh, yeah, I remember us talking about this coin.
Mm-hmm. Punch date. Looky there. Sweet.
MS-64. That's wow. What a great find. Congratulations.
That's a good one. You want to talk about uncharted territory? Liberty Head nickels. A lot of people think just because the Red Book does not have any varieties listed for it. No, there's a lot of varieties. There really are. Most of them are, minor stuff, repunch date, misplaced date. There are a few double dies, obverse and reverse. And these repunch dates, some of them are really nice, folks.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's a nice little profit there.
With 16.31 with buyer's fee.
Good Lord.
$14.50 winning bid. Well, that just made a house payment.
What is that? NGC?
Yeah, it's NGC slabbed, and that's the actual sold listing from Great Collections.
I wonder what the population report on that is for that particular variety or error.
I think it's a top pop from what I understand. I believe, but there's not in the pops anyways to begin with, across all grades. Is Adam in chat? Thought I saw him earlier.
Yeah, Adam's here.
He's he asked Ian Russell if he could get all $1,400 of it in nickels. or Franklin $50. One of the two.
Unsearched.
If it's coming from Ian, they're not unsearched.
89.
So this is what it's all about. This is what you arm yourself with knowledge for, so that when you go hunting eBay, when you go to the coin show, you can spot this stuff and turn it around, because that's the joy of treasure hunting, cherry picking.
Hey Adam, what's the pops on this coin? Is this the top pop, the 64 here? Yeah, he's in chat, so. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the profitable side of the coin business. You can go out and cherry pick and do stuff like Adam did and make a pretty good living. But at the same time, it's an incredible hobby to be in for all reasons.
There's a 65 in the census out there.
65?
Yes, sir. But there's only one, and there's only one 64, so I'm assuming that's the 64.
And it takes a lot of years of educating yourself to go and do it efficiently.
Well, I think 10,000 hours, and the sooner you spend the 10,000 hours, but it takes a lot. I mean, imagine each series spending 10,000 hours on.
Well, in Adam's case, it probably helps to have a Cliff Notes version of the Cherry Pickers Guide.
Yeah. Yeah.
I lost count after 200 hours.
PCGS has more.
This is where knowing, having references, knowing pickup points, having a short list to search for key dates that you know are worth money that you can find. I mean, all these different things that you can do to prep yourself in order to meet this, and then having a budget that can do so as well. I mean, it wasn't a cheap coin. He got it for $330. So that's a budget. You have to be ready and prepared. I know that's like a couple of months for me for my coin budget. So I would not have been able to buy coins for a couple months to save that up and then have it ready for when I came across that to win the eBay, or come across to buy it now. But yeah, so some people that might just be, lunch money, but other people it's a little bit more. And there is some. He submitted that to NGC November 30th, and it came back at the end of February. So he had to sit on it for 3 months as well, and that can be painful. Sending a coin off that you sunk money into and you spent your lunch money, and now you can't eat. But that's why it's important to budget for this stuff and be ready for it. And armed with a budget, armed with knowledge, now it's just using your eyeballs to find it and the patience.
And now he has a very respectable amount of money to cherry pick more coins.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of us on the panel cherry pick, and I'm sure there's a bunch in the chat. It's amazing when you're just cherry picking. You start with the $5 and $6 purchase, and then it sells for 15, 18, and well, now you built up some cash. Now you can buy the $20 and $30 coins, and with the variety on it, you're getting $40 for them. And then eventually you're going to have a cherry picker's budget where you can come up and get those $200 or $300, $400 coins that you could sell for money like he did. And I think he did very well on that.
Sam, FS301. So this is a FS stands for Fiva Stanton, which are the authors that made the Cherry Pickers Guide. And Bill Fiva is still around, and he's a wonderful guy. You can look him up on YouTube and Google him and watch some of the videos where he's interviewed. What a great guy. Jeff has actually met him. He's in the same coin club. And Stanton died a few years ago, but it looks like Bill Fiva is carrying on the cherry picker. So,
Yeah.
Who did he team up with to help him? You know? I thought he was working with somebody with his books.
Well, he works with Whitman Publishing.
I thought they had an understudy that they brought in.
They probably do.
Not only that, Eric, there's a lot of contributors to the book, to help them along. So it's a lot of people that have come together, and that's the main reason why it takes such a long time to release the book, and that there's always all sorts of delays and all that stuff. It's because they're waiting on each one of the contributors to add their information to the book. Like, for example, Rick Snell is a contributor to the Cherry Pickers Guide Indian Head Scent section.
Is there a photograph of the variety, an up-close one that we can see?
I could try to dig one up. We might have to come back to it. But,
who has the knowledge on where they can get cherry pickers guides and the trouble that they're having locating in the pricing?
You know, for $15 to $25, I think you can get a Kindle version. I would go that route.
My
Otherwise, you're
Kindle-
going to spend $150, right?
Yeah, my Kindle version of Volume 1 only set me back like $12, and I can use it on. I work primarily off of a PC with 2 monitors, and it works perfectly fine in the other
Plus,
monitor.
it's searchable, right?
Yeah, to a limited extent. I'm not a big fan of Kindle per se, but you know what? For $12 as opposed to paying $100 for the book, for right now, I'll pay the $12.
Yeah, do not pay $100 for this book. They actually had to switch publishers, so now this is going to be produced by Krause Publishing. So that's where the delay is at for the Cherry Picker's Guide for this new new one for the dimes to dollars.
Get a 6th edition, Volume 2.
Thank you, Eric.
That's the one we're all waiting for.
Yep.
And when they hit the market, they're going to be a hot commodity.
Can we go on to his Adam's next email? Is he sending 2? I think, yeah. Yeah, Annex new discovery submission. So I thought I would share my grading results for my new discoveries plate coins. I received 11 of my new discovery pieces or plate coins back from Annex, and I think it was a success. This was probably my largest batch of discovery pieces I sent at one time. It goes to show that any new collector can add to the numismatic community in big ways while contributing to their own collection. To be honest, I just started looking for varieties just 3 years ago. I have collected coins for over a decade, but didn't branch out into varieties and high-grade coins until I watched Blue Ridge on YouTube. He really got my collective juices going. Thank you for all you do. I will always strive to be one of the coins on the market report. Maybe someday. Thanks.
That's funny. Hey, Carl, how many coins have I highlighted of yours that you sold?
I think I've seen 4 or 5, probably 5 of my coins show up in the pocket change market report, and that's always a thrill. And when I have a buyer for those on eBay, I will share that video with that buyer and say, "Hey, your coin is on YouTube. Check it out."
So it looks like Wexler and Wiles call there's new DDOs and RPMs and whatnot discovery coins, and Copper Coins calls them plate coins because those are the ones he takes pictures of and uses on his website. I think Chuck had posted in the Facebook page that he does that because, well, they may not actually be the first one to discover. They're just the first one to send it in. However, I don't want to take that away from Adam because I think it's a great contribution to the hobby to be able to do this and send in new finds that get, added to lists for other people to find.
Can we zoom in on that and scroll down from the top down so we can read that a little better?
Some of those grades are phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, look at that.
There's a few 66s in there.
I think that my theory is that plate coin, the word plate is something from it's an old photography term.
Yes.
When they would take photos, it would be on a plate. And I think that's what Chuck is using, that copper coins is the term he uses. I think that's very traditional.
That's right.
It reminds me of pictures from books that you check out at the library when you were at school.
1mm is mint mark, so RPM. 1DO, of course, double die obverse. WDDO, Wexler double die obverse. DDO is Konica or Variety Vista, double die obverse. RPM, very nice. Right, look at that, MS66, WDDO 27. So, you know, that's great. That's awesome. This is what you can find in unopened rolls and bags and cherry picking. It's great. Well done. Very well done, Adam.
Yeah, it pretty much cements Adam's, I guess, legacy for these coins. It really, you know, it makes him kind of a celebrity of sorts. I know to some people that doesn't really matter, but you know, when you discover something in the in numismatics, it's really exciting, and to have your name attached to it is even more exciting.
Yeah. I mean, some people feel like they haven't arrived until, you know, their name is in public view. And if that gets your juices flowing, then this is the hobby for you, because you can still do that. I mean, look at the coins. These coins have been around like 1947, 54, 56, 57. How long have these coins been available to not have found that variety yet? So the world's your oyster. You just got to open oysters.
I've looked at it that way too. Of like, I'm just starting this, looking for varieties and errors, and what's going to make me so special to discover something that no one else has discovered and submitted. And it's been, you know, decades that these coins have been around, and just figure the odds. You know, somebody may have found it, but didn't bother or care enough to submit it for cataloging.
Yeah.
So often I am not disappointed when I find that no, it already exists, and no, it's not a new discovery.
Yeah. Adam says some of these are from roll reveals. So Chuck does kind of a niche thing where he obtains a lot of these exclusive rolls and sells positions at auction, and then he reveals those coins one at a time to look for the varieties. And I tell you, if you're interested in Lincoln Sense, it's a great thing to go. You can learn a whole lot from Chuck. He's very knowledgeable.
That's impressive, Adam. Thank you for sending this to us.
Thank you for sharing it. That's awesome.
I've got that FS301 up if somebody wants to.
AO Coin Kids, basically from left to right, ignore the first column. That's just an ID. The second column is the date. And then you got the mint mark. So like D over D is an RPM. Of course, you got the all of these are 1 cent coins. And then you got the actual attribution ID from whoever it is, whether it's you know, a double diaverse 5 or WDDO 63 or RPM 13 or 1MM053. Those are the actual IDs that somebody you know, that the attributor has pinned to this particular variety. And then, of course, over on the right, you got the grade, MS65, MS64, and the color, red or red-brown, just to break it down for you, if you can maximize your screen.
Very good question. I'm sure others were wondering that too.
Oh, me either. It's all blur, and I'm not in Smallville. Well, okay. Oh, we need to put Jeff up. There we go. This was for the previous email Adam sent, his repunched date. Right there,
Yep.
the 1 and the 8 going south towards the rim.
That makes it more impressive, I think, looking at that.
That's a significant repunched. You know, sometimes you look at the repunches and it's just a mark underneath the serif on the 1. It might be a little bit of a loop on the 8 or something, but that's got some serious separation to it. Somebody got really excited about the grade on that coin and didn't look really close before they submitted it. And then Adam snatched it up. Good job. That's a beautiful variety.
Now, see all those denticles down along the edge? You also want to look for misplaced dates down in there. Now, this one doesn't have it, but always check up close. Yep. If you're going to look for repunched dates, you might as well look for misplaced dates as well.
Right. Sometimes you'll see like the loop of like anytime you've got the 8s and the 9, you know, anything with a loop at the top of it, you might see that loop kind of, if my cursor shows up, you might see that loop kind of, you know, poking up in between the denticles right there. Might even be poking up out into the field right there. I've got a couple Indian heads that are like that, where it actually loops all the way back up into the field and goes back down into the denticle. They're fun to find. I love repunch dates. I like repunch dates more than I like some of the other varieties. I enjoy these.
Yeah, it's one of those things I wish they kept doing.
Yeah.
But it is fun to know, you know, that's another thing is, you know, and I think Carl's been working on this, is putting together a timeline when they actually repunched dates using a date hub or repunch mint marks from when they did it and when they stopped doing it. When did they put the letters on the coin at some point?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't go any farther back than 1909 with my Lincoln cent interest, so I didn't go that far back.
Yeah, what did they stopped with the Lincoln cents? They didn't do any repunch dates with those.
I think the last year you can find a repunch date on an Indian head is 1908. 1909, when you look at the snow varieties, they are few and far between. I think there's only a couple of them. That is because I believe that's when the repunch date stopped on the Indian heads.
Good question. All right. What we got next?
Yeah, AOC, that's something you have to contend with on eBay. There's a lot of people that really don't know how to take decent coin photography. So a lot of the coins that you will come across are victim to out of focus, or, you know, maybe they took it through a telescope or something. Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, Adam can attest to that of how many sleepless nights he's had trying to find the next big thing.
Yeah, I know when I'm out there looking, it's the most frustrating thing in the world when you run across, you know, something that, I mean, it looks so close, but that picture will not blow up out of that box on eBay because the picture they have on there is too low of a resolution to show up.
Yeah, and the coin is a nice higher grade, and it's an affordable price.
Yeah,
that's a buy it now listing.
And exactly. And guess what? I mean, if I don't see it and I'm looking, and the only way I'm going to buy is because of that variety, I move on. You know, it's important to get those pictures right.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to share with you guys. I updated our coin information list. So there's a bunch of new links up here. Let me put that up. There you go. Informational sites. So those are links to different places that we use as references, and we'll continue to add to that. But if you guys check it out, that's on the Live Coin QA website. It's just a list of a bunch of different coin related sites. So check it out. And while you're there, buy a shirt.
Merch. We have shirts and we still got hats.
I think we have a couple of hats. I think like 2 or 3.
Yep, we got shirts and hats.
You can always catch when the next show is and what time, and also you can find links to each of our previous videos up to the last 20 videos on the site. So. Let's see. Paul Hendon says, well, the mint mark stopped in 89 that is, but were they fixing up dates up to that date as well? No, they didn't do repunch dates after 1908 or 9, but they did for repunched mint marks. You're right that they stopped in 89 generally, but they kept going on some of the other denominations. So on Lincoln cents it stopped.
At one point, they were just putting the first 2 digits on the design. And then on one of the hubs, they were adding the last 2 digits up to a point. And then they stopped doing that and they started adding all 4 numerals to the date once the technology allowed for doing that efficiently. I wish I could tell you off the top of my head what years those were when they did that, but I can't right now.
Paul,
Test, is this thing on?
Oop, looked like we just lost Amanda for a minute. Oh.
And she's back.
And she's back.
And she's back. Welcome back.
Oh, good. I thought we were done. This is a nice surprise.
You sound so excited.
Shall I read it while I'm talking, I guess?
Yeah.
Shannon Smith sent in this. It's regarding a 1977 Denver cent die clash. Hey, guys. Hope all is well. This is the first 2 die clashes that I wanted to show off. Even though they aren't as great as a jailhouse Lincoln, would love to find one of those, and I will. Also wanted to ask the question, is Mad Die Clashes the only site to reference currently attributing die clashes? I had not heard of any others really. If so, I may need to check with them and see if these would be good enough clashes to have them put on this site. Let me know what you think. So there's another one after this, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
If you're finding it difficult to find things in the 70s,
There's a reason for that.
this is
They actually got it right in the mid to late 70s, and then it went to crap again in the 80s.
I like tilting these and looking at right around the neck area and behind the head. And sometimes you'll see letters going into Liberty in the back of the head or in the top of the head, front forehead, stuff like that. You look for clashes. There it is. All right.
Yep.
Look over.
Bay 2, Bay 3.
Yep. Underneath Bay 2 in the field.
Looks like a little bit in Bay 7.
And I don't know. I think I see a letter there.
For the people that don't understand when we're saying the bays, we're counting the bays left to right.
11 bays, 12 columns.
There's good detail on that one there.
Yeah, right under the planter. There you go. That's the back of his head. Hey, look at that. See, I think finding letters is just as good as jailhouse.
I agree. I like seeing letters.
I like letters better. I mean, to get the letters, that has to be deep.
I like how Shannon has pointed out this with arrows and the outline of the.
Yeah, that is a meticulous photoshopping session there.
Look at that.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I've seen a rabbit playing a violin right about there. Thanks, Shannon.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I like seeing the reverse clashes when you could see the outlines and the letters on them. On clashes, a good year to find clashes, especially the jailhouse, are 1985s pennies. They're riddled with the jailhouse.
Those early 70s have the like double, triple clashes that are really cool too. I think Paula had a real nice off-center triple clash, early 70s Lincoln. It's crazy.
Is this the same coin as the first images?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see that when on the zoomed out version. I was seeing something else. So these close-ups made a difference.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
All arrows point toward liberty.
All right, Shannon Smith, 1980D Lincoln Cent die clash. Hello, all. Here is the second of the 2 die clashes that I found. Can anyone tell me why this cent looks funny? Thanks for your thoughts.
Yeah, Frank, it's very tough to image. It's looking at these pictures, it's hard to get excited, but when you get close enough and you're actually able to take the right kind of photos showing those clashes, it's a magical thing.
Side lighting is a must on these,
Yeah.
and rotating the coin around.
I see a why.
Why?
Why not? Why did they miss the why?
We could go on forever with that. Why?
We could, but we'd see our viewership drop.
Yeah, that's for a private stream.
Yeah, well, what was that good old beer commercial? Cindy, why ask why? Try Bud Dry.
Oh man, that's like
80s, right?
Yeah, I want to say so.
You shouldn't have been paying attention to beer commercials back then, Sean.
Yeah, that's in the day of where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
AOC Coin Kids had a question. He said, wait, letters there? So if there are partial letters at the rim, that's clash 2. So I'm not sure if which coin he's referring to, the first one or the second one.
Or if that's just a general question, if you did find letters on the rim, but that could also mean that the coin could have taken a hit from another coin. I don't know. I think I'm probably just speculating on what he's trying to understand there. Yeah, Papa Giorgio, that is the flux capacitor. We are going to go back to 1955.
Great. And that's a wrap.
That's nice. Another nice clash.
So how does the Y get there? Well, so what happens is the feeder finger that puts the coin in between the dies on a strike, and then the hammer die comes and hits the coin right in place. So you have 3 dies. You have the hammer die, the anvil die, and the collar. So when it hits, that metal flows into the die, and you have a coin that's imprinted, a planchet that's imprinted with this design. And now it's a coin. So if for some reason the feeder finger doesn't get that coin in there in time, the dies could actually strike each other, transferring some of the design. So the next time a feeder finger does get a new planchet in there, then some of that design will fill from the metal when the coin is struck. Now what happens is the operator will see this and they'll take the dies off and they'll abrade it down, and sometimes they'll miss certain areas as well. So you can see just parts of the design. Sometimes you'll see just the abrasion marks. You'll see a lot of raised lines on the coin, and that will be evidence of them having abraded the die, removing the clashes or chips and other stuff on a coin. And sometimes they just don't have that great eyesight, or it's hard to see, hard to get to places. So there you go. Is that sufficient an answer?
Yeah.
Shannon's asking about. Go ahead.
I do not know of any other die clash sites besides Mad Die Clashes.
I don't either.
Mad Die Clashes is the premier one for a lot of the more modern coins. There are die clashes on older series like Morgans and Kappa's half dollars. Those are actually attributed on their own unique sites like Vam World, So, but that's specifically for that series. But if you're looking for like any clash, usually Mad Die Clashes is the place. Have you had beef with them, or you're just inquiring, Shannon?
Well, yeah, and these weren't listed on Mad Die Clashes, so you could submit them. But maybe you just wanted to look for other references that might have them listed.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a cross reference.
Mm-hmm.
More information. He's wanting to drink from the fire hose.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be sorry.
Nope. If you don't see him on Mad Die Clashes, you should go submit it. As a matter of fact, that picture might be good enough. And the only way that you'll know is if you submit it.
I think atypical would be 3 different events on the same side there. And there's some other criteria that could be used. Otherwise, if it's less than that, it would be a typical die clash. But you could submit it for typical. The other one, I think, might have 3 events on it. Or, well, no, it's just 1 event, right? I think some of the other criteria are if it's misaligned would be another one, or you have multiple misaligned clashes.
And if there's a clash on the obverse and reverse of the same coin.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they would take this, just especially with your ability to take good pictures. I don't think you'll have as much of an issue. So they're a little picky.
Yeah. Let the picture take the story, tell the story, because they like to put their own arrows on. So just the pictures. Try to take it nice and as clean as you possibly can. Mess around with the lighting just a little bit. Try to keep some of the hot spots out.
They may not like the pictures that you've drawn on.
Yeah.
They may want less the arrows and the outlines of the letters. They may want raw photos.
I recommend that you guys try to go to these different sites, and a lot of them, I put the link out there earlier for informational sites. A lot of them have criteria for you to submit either pictures or coins, and I would suggest just doing that. It's a really good learning experience. I mean, even if you get a letter back from Wexler and you spent $20 to have them attribute some coins that turn out not to be the thing, you still have the experience of how to do that. You've interacted with somebody well established in coin attribution, and you get to see what it's all about doing it. I recommend doing that for anybody and going through it. Teaches you how to take better pictures, teaches you what to focus on, looking at the pickup points.
Absolutely. And, don't be shy. Post some of these on Facebook for us to see.
Not to mention how to ship coins safely. You learn a whole lot by doing something like that.
Yeah. All you have to do is lose one coin, and then you'll tighten up your shipping.
Practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
James Eubanks, I see your email, and we just got that, so we got it. It'll probably be next week.
Yeah, we don't always get to the coins coming in night of, so but we will definitely respond this week. I've been trying to respond quicker than we have in the past. So we'll get to your submissions, add them to the queue. If you don't hear from us, that's usually a sign that you're going into the next show. But otherwise, you'll be getting a sorry letter that explains and provides some reference and information for you to go study and help answer your questions. So we thank you guys for sending in all your email and continuing to join us on Monday nights. Great.
Hey, thank you for all of your support of Live Coin Q&A. We really do appreciate it. We are growing slowly. More emails are coming in. Newer people are coming in. So thank you.
I see these bags. From answering emails.
Shay is due for a few weeks off. And maybe he might
give a shout out to our mods in chat tonight. Thank you very much for monitoring our chat tonight and answering questions and helping people.
Big thanks to Amanda for setting up all the photos and emails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good job as always.
Yeah. Yep, she's a rock star at it.
Yeah, Cindy and Frank, thank you. Don't forget to tip your host on the way out. No, I'm just kidding. But come on by the website, buy a T-shirt or 3.
Friends and family. Friends and family.
Yeah.
So, don't send it. Don't send us money, friends and family.
Goods and services.
It's only 3%.
Yeah.
Small price to pay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to go ahead and do it. If you haven't done so already, hit the good old like button. Feel free to share the video, subscribe as well. Your support goes a long way. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful week.
She's going to fly away.
Yeah, get a haircut. Yeah.
We're trying to get Shade long enough so we give him a Joe Dirt haircut.
I just see what could happen. Look at this. I got Einstein hair.
We should launch a GoFundMe just for your hair.
Yeah. That was for you guys. In case you were wondering what was underneath the hat all night long. I know you were.
I'll come shave it for free.
There you go.
I've got the clippers back there. I just have to have the guts.
Yeah, the only number that matters, Shay, is number 1.
Yeah,
All the way around.
Well, never mind. I was going to say something. Turned out about number 2 that I decided I didn't want to say.
You're going to go do a number 2?
I think he should get a butch haircut and with the 1960D RPM 1 on both sides of his head.
I love that, Cindy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we better leave before someone brings up a certain number on a cheek. All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, all. Thank you
Good night,
all
buddy.
very much for joining us tonight.